But I also learned that when they do kidney transplants, they leave your old kidneys in there. Mm-hmm.
Ew, I don't like that.
I know. I don't either.
Why would they leave it in there?
Because there's no point in taking it out.
You would think that it would, like, go bad.
I know.
What?
I know.
That's nuts.
I know. I don't like it either.
Hi, and welcome to Paperspace, a podcast where we talk about all things books, planners, and cozy hobbies. We're your hosts, Des
and Linz. So in this episode, we kind of wanted to continue with our trailer episode a little bit and just giving you guys a idea of who we are and what we're liking lately, what we're reading.
We have a general structure that we're gonna try, and we might change it.
Yeah, we
in
might
the future,
change it,
but
we'll see. Last in our trailer, I said that I might have 3 cats. We now have 3 cats. So we brought in a stray cat that was outside in our complex. I've been befriending her for several months now, and finally got her to trust me enough to get her inside. So really it was so we could take her to a vet to see if she has a microchip or not, because she was so friendly. We thought she was maybe owned and left by someone or lost. So yeah, we got her checked out, and she doesn't have her microchip, and vet estimated she's 2 years old. So yeah, she's missing a couple teeth and some nails.
oh my gosh.
But she's really cute. She's a big fluff ball.
She's so fluffy.
But yeah, we decided to name her Suki. Is fitting in
so
with
good.
the Avatar theme here. And she's getting along with our other cats, Toph and Iroh, pretty well.
That's so fast.
It's so fast. I mean, it's only been a week. Well, a little over a week now that she's been in our house. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're really liking her, but that's our biggest update. It's just we have a third fur child in our house now.
Oh my gosh.
Cat hair everywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Cat city.
Cat city.
I love it.
But yeah, what about you?
I don't have a lot of updates. I mean, we had our first community kickball game.
Oh yeah.
Last night.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and we needed some extra players, so Lindsay and her fiance came to play with us.
We sure did. It was a good time. I was honestly so anxious the entire time. I don't know why. I
mean, new people, new place. You're playing kickball for probably the first time since you were 10.
Yeah, literally. Literally, though.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys did really well.
Oh my gosh, I don't feel like I did well.
No,
I was
you guys did really well. It's kind of hard to get used to.
It is.
And you guys were kicking the ball.
Oh my gosh, I was so stressed I was gonna not kick it or do the thing where you roll your foot over it and then you fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely uses coordination I haven't used since I was 12.
Right? Literally though. I'm when did I do that? Maybe junior high PE? I have no idea.
Even then.
Who knows?
I don't know if we did kickball since
I don't think we did
elementary
kickball.
School. So yeah, we had our first kickball game.
Yeah, you guys won.
We won. Yeah, we did really well. It was a lot of fun. It's a pretty chill league. There are definitely some teams that take it really seriously, but yeah, we're just there to have a good time.
No, it was a total good time.
It's very fun. So that's it for updates. And then our next section that we want to do is a little loving lately, where it can just be pretty much anything. Whatever we want to talk about, something that we are enjoying.
I mean, I guess one thing I've been enjoying lately, it's actually a drink.
Ooh!
Nothing spicy, just, no, it's some coconut water.
Coconut water.
I've literally been loving coconut water lately, and I don't know what it is. I found it, and I was like, it's so good.
Sometimes, a certain drink just hits.
Yeah.
I've been drinking a lot of lemonade recently.
Yeah, lemonade's good, too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm, hyper fixated on the coconut water right now.
Maybe a little bit.
Every day I'm I should go get one. Or, once a week. It's just, especially after we go climbing, I'm I need something. And it has, a little bit of the, saltiness that your body, wants after exercising.
Yeah.
So, I've been loving that.
Oh. Yum.
Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we watched a new show on Netflix.
Ooh.
It was called The 3 Body Problem.
Oh, that's based off of a book.
Yeah. It is.
And it looks crazy. Like, it looks super intense.
Oh, it's really good. We binge watched it. We didn't mean to.
Oh, okay.
We did not mean to. We watched, like, 3 episodes in one night, and then I was like, okay, maybe we should take a break. Because they're, like, an hour long. It was... Wow. We got sucked in. But it's really good. We finished it, actually, and I'm like, now we cannot wait for the next season to come out.
And it's new.
But
it just came out.
Oh my gosh, I know. But I also kind of, it's made me want to read, like, look into the book and maybe read the book and see how it compares. But that's something else I've been loving. It was really good. Definitely worth a watch.
Okay.
If you're interested.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
a little violent, but nothing terrible.
Yeah,
nothing too crazy.
I've definitely heard of the book. It's one that, like, people seem to mention a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on my 600 book TBR on Storygraph. It's probably... 600? Yeah, it's bad.
Girl.
Yeah, it's bad.
I didn't know you had that many.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
Yeah, for real. I'll show you.
Please do. I think I have, like, maybe 60.
Which is funny because, like, I used to use Goodreads and I switched over and I started fresh. Oh. I didn't bring anything over.
You didn't transfer it?
No. 592 books.
Oh my gosh.
I add new books all the time.
I guess
I'm trying to, like,
though.
chill out. I'm trying to slow down. But, like, if I hear about a book and I'm like, that might be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget about it.
So you put it.
I put it in there. I'm trying not to do that as much.
Well.
But I also, like, I hate when I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you're like, I'm trying to read all these books this year. This is, like, could be a lifetime
This
TBR,
is a lifetime
honestly.
TBR. There's no way I'm ever going to read 600 books.
Well, you could do it.
I read 70-something books last year.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
I'm not going to read that many this year.
I didn't read it anywhere close to that last year. I think I read maybe 10.
That's still good.
This year I've read 8 so far.
That's awesome.
7 of them being in January, so...
Holy cow! Yeah, the beginning of the year is always really slow for me.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I'm, I always set a really low, low for me goal. Mm-hmm. And then if I go over that, it's, like, great. Because I don't, like, care that much. I just want to, like, be reading.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, totally.
But, like, also I'm not going to force myself to read if I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm reading pretty slowly this year.
That's okay.
I'm estimating I might read 50 books this year, but right now it's not. It's not at that level.
That's okay.
But it's okay.
What have you been loving lately, Des?
Man, I'm always got all sorts of stuff going through my brain. Yeah, something that, like, I've been really fixated on, especially, like, this last week, is stationery.
Of course.
Yeah, I placed this huge order from Yoseka Stationery, partially, like, to get Lindsay birthday presents, and also to get myself presents for Lindsay's birthday. You
have to.
Like, I definitely got duplicates of a few things, because I was like, I have to get this for Lindsay, but I want one too. And I got, like, a new fountain pen that I'm really excited about. It's the Kaweco Apricot Pearl. Oh, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah. So I got that pen, but also, like, just having new stickers and washi tape and things has made me, like, want to set up my pages. Yeah. And journal, like, mostly daily, which is, like, is huge. Yeah. You know, sometimes...
Have you been doing that or just, like, prepping for it?
I've been doing it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily write on the daily pages every day. Only, like, when I feel like there's really something that I want to write about. Right. But I am using the weeklies in my Hobonichi cousin to, like, memory keep.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, and I like, kept saying that that's what I'm using them for, and I had done 1 week. Right. The whole year, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I did one spread. That's okay. And so I've now done a few. Nice. I, like, backfilled a little bit. And so, like, I don't necessarily need to, like, memory keep on my daily pages. Right. I can kind of just write whatever I want, and I can, like, commonplace on them and stuff. Yeah. I use, like, the new stickers and stuff to fill out this weekly spread, and then I had done... cute. Yeah, like, a spread for the week before. Yeah, or I guess a couple of weeks before. Yeah. Yeah.
They're so cute.
So, like, yeah, getting new stickers and new stationery is kind of like...
Maybe I'll have to utilize my weekly pages, because I haven't utilized them at all yet.
It's always hard for me to figure out how to use this. Weekly pages, because...
Yeah, because I've been using my dailies.
Yeah.
Not super consistently, but, like, definitely been using them.
Yeah. And I use a Hobonichi Weeks for planning.
Yeah,
so, like,
same.
this is not for planning.
Right. Like,
But if I
obviously-
didn't use a Hobonichi Weeks, I might use this spread for planning.
Yeah, which would be really beneficial.
Yeah, but
Because I've also seen people use the calendar part.
Yeah, I'm not using
for
the
different
calendars in
things
here.
as well. Like, people will do, like, doodles and stuff, which is really cute, but
It
I'm
is
just,
really
like,
cute.
not that creative.
I've tried to do that before. It's really hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I'm like, that's thinking of something every day.
Yeah, I've seen some people using the monthlies for, like, they'll basically use it as, like, a line a day.
Oh, okay.
And they'll just, like, write, like a memory or,
Cute.
like, something about their day in it. And it looks really cute.
Yeah, that is really cute.
Like, once the whole month is filled. So I've been thinking about trying that. Because I don't have any use for my monthly pages.
Right.
Because, like, I use Google
Yeah.
Calendar
Yeah, me
for
too.
that kind of stuff. Like, if it's in here, I'm not going to know it's happening.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people are the opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I use my Google Calendar and, like, my phone Google
Yeah,
Calendar way
exactly.
more. But then I have my weeks
Yeah.
that I use as a planner. So I'll write things in, and I usually just double check that they're the same
Yeah.
on my phone versus that. But
Yeah.
then I also refer to my phone way more. Like, if I don't
Yeah.
have my week's planner with me, I'm not, like, lost.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't take my weeks with me
You know what I mean?
everywhere.
Yeah.
And also, I don't use the monthly in my weeks either.
Yeah, I don't use it either.
But I like, when I set up my week, I will use my Google Calendar and write down the stuff for the week.
Yeah.
Just so that it's visible for me there.
Yeah, that's what I do, too.
Yeah, and I think that's useful. But, like, yeah, I've never really used monthly pages very much. Or, yeah, I guess the weeks in the Hobonichi Cousin either.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something, like, I really like it as a memory keeping spread. I also have, like, this little section that I'm adding on, like, the left column, where it's like a habit tracker, but for what hobbies I'm doing each day.
Oh, fun.
So I have, like, journal, color, movies and TV, and gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, adding whatever hobbies I'm doing that week. So that was last week. This week I added art to the list because I actually have been using my sketchbook this week.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of fun. Like, it's a fun way to see what I've been up to. I also use the Daylio app on my phone to, like, basically memory keep a little bit.
I think you've showed me that last time
Yeah.
that I was over here.
So, like, I'll put in, like, how I'm feeling throughout the day,
Yeah.
and I'll try to do, like, a couple of entries throughout the day to, like, first of all, like, check in with how I'm feeling, which is very helpful.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
have, like, a really hard time, like, identifying how I'm feeling.
Right.
So that's been really helpful. But then I also, like, track what hobbies I'm doing.
Oh,
and,
that's
like, if
nice.
I've gotten outside that day, or, like, if I drank coffee or something like that, to see how that's, like, affecting me. But then I can, like, if I need to backfill in my, like, on my weekly spread,
Right.
I'll just use Daylio to do that.
Oh, okay. That's actually really smart. 'Cause
It's
that's
really
sometimes my
nice.
biggest problem, too, is that, like,
I can't remember anything.
I'll be like, oh, I should go backfill a couple of days, but then I'm like, what did I even do?
Yeah.
Like, or I don't have a receipt from that day. Like, I didn't go anywhere.
You don't have any pictures.
I don't have any pictures. I
Yep.
don't, like...
Yeah,
You
in
know what I
Daylio,
mean?
you can add pictures to your entries, too.
That's fun.
It's very fun. And
I'll have
I
to
just
look
use
into
the
it.
free version.
Okay.
And I will probably upgrade to it because I've been using it all year.
Right, and you're liking it.
And I've been using it, like,
Consistently,
daily.
yeah.
Consistently, like, multiple times a day.
Okay. So it's not,
And-
like, hard to keep up with. You don't feel pressured by it.
No, and I've had to, like, build a little bit of a habit around it.
Right.
And, like, on the free version, you can set it up to send you one reminder during the day.
Okay.
And once you're in the paid version, you can set up as many reminders as you want.
Right.
But, like, usually I'll have it, like, send me... Well, I actually have one reminder for a goal, which is to go outside.
Okay.
And that comes in at, like, lunchtime every day.
Right.
And then I have it set up to send me one notification at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So that if I haven't done it during the day, it
Then you
reminds me
Go back in and...
at 8. And I'll be like, oh, okay, before I go to bed, if I'm
Okay.
brushing my teeth or whatever,
Yeah.
I will, like, fill out my day. At least do one entry for the day.
Right.
And it's been really nice. I really like it for, like, memory keeping because I have the worst memory, and it definitely
Yeah, same.
makes me feel not bad about, like, skipping days in my
In
planner.
your journal, yeah.
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 So
I get that.
I like it a lot.
No, have to look into that.
Yeah. So I guess that was like 15 things that I love.
That's okay. I love it.
So the next section we want to do is to like talk about what we're currently reading.
Mm-hmm. I've had quite a few things on my currently reading list for a while now. The one that's been on there the longest is It's a Court of Mist and Fury by
it's big.
by Sarah J. Maas, and it's massive.
It's big.
624 pages, and I'm about halfway through, a little less than halfway. But I've been reading this book for several months now, and it's funny because I kind of go through moods where I'm like, oh, I need to read it.
Yeah.
And then I read a whole bunch of it.
And then you don't touch it.
And then I don't touch it for a while.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's not a good book. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. It's just like, I have to be in the mood. And like, I feel
That's
like
fair.
It's also because I know that when I do get back into it, I'm going to get sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to have like that time dedicated for that night to be sucked into it.
Yep.
Rather than just like reading a chapter, because that just doesn't happen in this book, for me at least. But it's the second book in like the Court of Thorns and Roses series. Mm-hmm. I've been told that it's the best book by a lot of people.
Oh. Okay.
Which I enjoyed the first one. It was a little slow to start out with, but it picked up and I enjoyed it. This one, it's kind of doing the same thing, so I'm kind of wondering where it's going to go, but I feel like she's definitely doing a lot of world building still. Yeah. Which is like really common in fantasy for like the first bit to be a lot of world building, and we're meeting new characters in this book too, so it's like you have to build their world now too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's been good. I've been enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish it maybe this month, but we'll see. We're already halfway through, so. And then the other book that I've been kind of reading, I guess we've both been reading, is The Tomb Sweeping.
We got it from Book of the Month.
Yeah, we got it from Book of the Month. It's by Alexandra Chang. It's a book of like short stories, which I'm not super far into it, honestly. Yeah. But the stories that I have read, I've enjoyed. I think that we were doing a buddy read with it. I don't know.
I think we both kind of fell off of it.
Yeah, we both fell off of it, and I think we've decided that it might be better for not a buddy read.
Yeah. It's definitely something that, like, I will pick it up once in a while. Mm-hmm. But, as my only read, I was kind of, like, not wanting to pick it up. Yeah, I ended up picking other books up. Same. And I'm not, like, I don't like to read a lot of books at once, either. And I was like, I need to read something else.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's how I kind of felt with it, too, so. But it's had some good stories in it, and I think it's one that I will finish on my own. I just need... Yeah. I think it's hard to check in with a buddy read. Yeah. Because it's short stories.
Yeah, and it hasn't really felt like we can be like, oh my gosh, did you read what happened? Yeah, totally. It's kind of like,
that was an interesting story. Yeah. Or, oh, that one was sad. Or that one was funny. But, like... Yeah. So, yeah, that one's been... But it's very enjoyable. I don't know... I haven't read a short story collection in a very long time. Yeah. So it's kind of... It's a different vibe for me than what I normally go for.
And maybe that's why we both thought we could just, like... Read the whole thing. Maybe that's not how we do short stories.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
We thought it would be good too because it's short.
Yeah, so if you didn't want to read more than one, you could just... Yeah. Yeah.
And the collection is small.
Yeah, it's a small collection. Like maybe...
But it's like 200 and something pages.
Yeah, yeah.
But
apparently not.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a fast read.
And it's kind of heavy. So I feel like a lot of the stories have been kind of heavy.
Yeah. There's a lot of themes of like family... like hard familial relationships. Yeah. Which it's very interesting.
Very interesting.
But not what I just want to read every night before bed.
Right. Same here. Yeah. So those are the ones I've been reading. I have the Joy Luck Club written down on my currently reading, and I had picked it up in the beginning of this month, but then I haven't touched it since then. That one's actually a reread for me. I read that one for the first time in high school, I think, and I don't think I fully appreciated the story in high school, so that's why I wanted to pick it back up, because if I'm remembering it correctly, I didn't really enjoy the book that much in high school.
Yeah, I think the same for me.
But after, like, rereading, like, what it's about and picking it back up, I'm like, I think I need to, like, give this story the time that, like, maybe as an adult, like, maybe I can appreciate it more. Yeah. And understand it, because it seems very much on, like, the lines of where I'm at in my life too, like with familiar
Yeah,
relationships.
maybe now that we're a little older too, we can just appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's what my hope is. I mean, maybe not, but
interesting.
It'll also be fun to read my high school annotations in the margins.
Oh my gosh.
They're sure there.
That's wild.
So, we'll have to see what high school me said about this book.
That's wild.
I know.
You're probably going to cringe a lot.
I'm sure I am.
You're going to be like,
oh my gosh.
This is what I wrote.
I'm already cringing at my handwriting, and I'm like, oh, is that how I wrote?
That is the reason, like, that is the main reason that keeps me from annotating in my books now.
Yeah, that's why this one's full of sticky notes.
Yeah, I do sticky notes, I do tabs, and then I keep my notebook where I write my thoughts down.
Right.
Instead of writing in the book. And I don't care about writing in a book.
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
but
it's whatever. But I don't want to have, like, I know that if I have to look back on it, or, like, if I want to loan a copy, or even let my husband read a copy of something, I'm like, I don't want him to read this. I don't even want him to see what pages I tabbed.
Same way. I know there was a book I was going to have my fiance read, and then I was like, wait, actually...
Let me pull all these tabs out.
Well, it was one I'd annotated.
Oh, no.
Because it was an older book, and he's like, I never read this. And I was like, how have you never... I don't even remember what book it is now, but it was a classic. And he's like, yeah, I never read that one. And I was like, are you kidding? How have you not read this? And I was like, here, just read this copy. And then I was like, actually, don't read this copy. There's writing in this book. And
you're like, I don't know how long ago this was. Because, like, I've heard of people that will, like, they'll buy a book that they love. They'll read it and annotate it. Yeah. And then, like, gift it to a friend or a partner. And I think that that's really sweet. Like, if you are annotating it, like, with the intention of, like, gifting it to someone, like, you're speaking to someone else, I think that's really cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
But, like, the stuff that I write down in my books, I'm like, ew.
Yeah, same.
Or cool. Like,
or it's like
dumb stuff.
It's like, what?
WTF.
Question mark.
Yeah, like, the stuff I write in my reading notes, sometimes I'm like, what is this person's problem? Like, I hate this character.
Yeah, that's like, the kind of stuff that I write, too.
Yeah. Which, also, I don't care to have that. Like, there's no reason for me to write it in the book. Yeah. Like, I can have it in my reading notebook, and I'll always be able to go look back on that. Yeah. Which is helpful, like, when I need to write a review or something. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with my, reading list as of right now. What about you?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I'm reading right now is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. It is the second book of her Wayfarer series. It's like, so it's a sci-fi series.
Yeah.
And the first book, oh man, I loved it so much. It's very like cozy sci-fi. There's still like some high stakes situations. But you basically are, dropped onto a ship with a bunch of different people, and it has like a lot of found family vibes. And like I don't even know how to explain it. Her world building is incredible, and I absolutely loved that first book.
Yeah.
And so this is the second book, and it follows one of the characters from the first book.
Yeah.
And like, the premise of the book didn't sound like the most interesting to me, but it's definitely like surprised me. It isn't quite what I expected it to be. And it still like has the cozy sci-fi vibe for me, but there's also like some things that have happened that have made it not cozy for me. There's definitely like some content warnings in this for like animal.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that's like my number one.
Yeah.
That's like something I don't do.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm sure I checked the content warnings on Storygraph for this, and it probably, I think it does say like animal death in the graphics section.
Right.
Which like, I probably should have paid attention to, but I want to continue the series.
Right. Because you liked the first one.
Yeah, and I will say, like, just so other people know this about it, stuff happens to dogs in this book, and that's like a huge no-no for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, animals in general, but like dogs especially.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
especially with you having a dog too of your own.
Yeah,
like, that makes it way harder.
I can't do it. Like, sad dog movies, can't watch them.
Nope, can't do it.
So I've been like, in my reading notebook, I've been like keeping notes on like, if I reread this, don't read this page.
Right.
If I reread this, skip this entire chapter.
Right.
There's mostly, like, one part of it that I was like, I wish I didn't read that, and the rest of it's been okay. But, yeah. If anyone wants to read it, and they're like, you want to know what to skip,
right.
Send me a message,
right,
or
right,
something.
They'll be like, okay, I
can tell you what to skip, at least what it is in my copy.
Yeah.
But,
no, that's good knowledge to have, for sure, because I don't know if I would want to read that personally.
No.
There was a book that my fiance and I had listened to, and, he was the one that introduced me to it. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'm going to ask him when I get home. It was a series that he read a while ago that he really liked, and it was the first book in the series, and he's like, it's such a good story, you're gonna love it. It's kind of like has that sci-fi vibe, and like it was so good. But then at the end, not the end, but like towards the end, like the main character has a companion dog.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And something happens.
No.
And it's just like, and it was so disheartening.
Yeah.
And so sad. And like, my fiance forgot about that part in the book. And so he didn't warn me that it was coming.
No.
Because he forgot that it was coming. And I remember we were listening to it while we were making dinner, and that part happened. And
like,
I literally broke down.
I'm gonna go cry now.
Sobbing. And he had to pause the book, and you know what? We didn't even finish it because I was like, I can't finish.
No.
I was like, I can't listen to the rest of that. He goes, but we have like 30 minutes left. I was like, no, I literally can't.
I'm done.
listen to this anymore. Like, how did he? I was so mad. I was like, how did the author just do that to us? That was the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. It was so sad. I was like gutted. Like,
I know there's like a website for movies where it's called like Does the Dog Die or something like that.
I feel like that needs to happen.
Yeah,
for
is that
too.
a thing for books? Because like Storygraph, I can look at the content warnings and it says like animal stuff. Right? But like
that doesn't tell you.
But it doesn't tell me enough.
Yeah.
If it's a dog,
the thing is like an animal death on Storygraph could be like, oh, there's a scene where they're hunting and they kill a duck or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it has like levels to it. Like it could be graphic or moderate. Yeah. But still, well, that's very subjective too.
It is,
because there's some books that I've reviewed where like I will mark whatever content warning I'm talking about as like, for me, it came across as moderate, but then I go and look at other reviews and it says graphic or mild, and I'm like, oh, so we're all interpreting that a bit differently.
Because everyone has different tolerances for different things.
For sure. And like, for me, like when I'm thinking of like moderate or graphic, or like, sometimes I also think in the context of like, how often is it mentioned in the book? Right. If it's just one little section, then sometimes I'll just read it as moderate, because I'm like, well, it was only that one small part of the book and it was very brief. But if it was like a whole chapter, or mentioned multiple times throughout the story, then to me that's graphic. Or if it goes into like major detail, that's way different. But people still interpret that differently. Yeah, which
everyone has different tolerance. Yeah. So, like, I wish there was a website where it could... Because, like, that website, I think it tells you, like, what animal dies. Yeah. What happens to the animal. Right. Like, it breaks it down.
You. Yeah. So, like, Marley and Me, you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
It's sad.
If there is a sad dog movie, and I know it's going to be sad, I will not watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Just like I've never watched Old Yeller, I've never watched Where the Red Fern Grows, and I never will. I know they're classic stories. I don't care.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
I can't watch those.
Yeah.
Like, that just... Yeah. I don't understand why those types of movies keep on getting made either. I'm like, who wants to watch these?
I know. Maybe we're just, like, really sensitive to that, but, like...
I feel like
I don't know if anyone actually would want... Yeah.
I don't know. It just... I'm like, we all love animals for... I mean, I guess not everyone, but...
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard.
It is. But, yeah, so that's where I'm at with that book. I'm like...
Are you worried that there's going to be any more, like, content like that in there?
No, I think I've gotten through most of it.
Okay, well, that's good.
It does kind of, like, reference back to it. The character is in a really unfortunate situation. Sure. Like, I understand what's happening. Right. It's like... Yeah. I get it. But I'm not happy about it. So, like, if... it's gone to the point where when I come up to... It's a dual timeline, like a dual POV. when I come up to that character's story, I quickly skim through and see if there's any mentions of dogs.
Oh, okay.
And I strategically try to, like, skip around them
part, yeah.
if I can, and just try to, like, speed read over it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's a problem with me, too, is, like, if I get caught on something like that, my brain wants to reread it.
Yeah.
Which, like, why do we do that?
I don't.
Yeah. Like, I'll make it worse for myself.
Mm-hmm. Mine does the same thing.
Yeah. But I really like the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's still cozy. That part is just not cozy.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I'm also reading, it's a manga. It's called Spy X Family.
Okay.
I'm on the second volume.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading the digital version from my library.
Okay.
It's very strange because you read it, it's still like flipped.
Oh, interesting.
You know how like manga is backwards?
Yeah. So are you
I'm swiping
backwards?
the other direction.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. And I'm reading it like on my iPad, so it's in color.
Oh, fun.
And I read the first one and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I'm going to continue, but it was available at my library, and so I checked it out. It's due in a couple of days, so I'm trying to read it. I'm not very far in it yet.
Okay.
But I thought the first one was fine.
Yeah.
It's like a spy is trying to like infiltrate a school, so he needs a pretend child and a pretend wife.
Interesting.
Yes. And like, but the child and the wife that he finds both have their own secrets.
Oh, goodness.
And it's kind of hilarious. I just feel like I don't know. Not a lot happened in the first one. Mm-hmm. But it's still pretty funny. And I think the premise is fun.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, so that's what I'm reading right now. I haven't really been listening to any audiobooks.
Yeah,
I just can't get in the vibe. Like, I can't get into it right now.
Yeah, I was listening to one, the red, white, and royal blue.
Oh, yeah.
But I made the mistake of listening.
Ruby! She said, "You're done."
She said, hello.
I need attention.
I made the mistake of listening to it while I was at work, and I don't know if you've read that book or not.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know what goes on in that book.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can listen to this at work. Like, because that's normally when I listen to audiobooks is when I'm at work.
Yeah, romance on audio is a gamble. Gosh.
Yeah, and I don't dislike the voice actor that's doing it or anything.
Yeah, it's just uncomfy.
It's just, or I guess it's not an actor, but the voice.
Yeah. The narrator?
The narrator. There we go. I was like, what
is
it called? Yeah, I don't dislike him. It's just the content of it. Yeah, it's a bit spicy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm a NICU nurse. I can't listen to that at work, guys.
And you would flush.
Oh my gosh.
Too.
And luckily it was a night shift. It was like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh, never mind. I'll listen to this at home. And then I haven't picked it back up since because I've been like too embarrassed for some reason.
That's unfortunate because it is a really good book.
Yeah. Well,
and it's a movie now, too.
I know. I want to finish it. I just need to get in the mindset for it and be prepared and to not listen to it anywhere in public.
Yeah.
But I feel you with the audiobook
it's
vibe
spicy.
right now. I haven't. It's so spicy. I wasn't expecting it to be that spicy, if we're being honest. I'm not disliking it. I'm just like, oh, that's a new perspective that I've never had before.
Yeah.
Because I've read my fair share of spicy books. I enjoy a good smut novel occasionally, but wasn't prepared for that. Especially not while I was at work.
Yeah. It's different when it's being narrated to you versus when you're reading it yourself.
It's so different. It's so different. Yeah. I'm a little uncomfy about it, but I'm like, I've already bought it, so I need to finish.
It's good.
Shit, I know.
It's good. And you have to watch the movie. The movie's so cheesy.
Is it really?
But it's fun. Oh. I liked it. My husband watched it with me.
Oh, cute.
But
yeah, so you get it. I'm like,
it was really fun to watch though.
But yeah, I've been on the same audiobook vibe.
Yeah,
as well.
So those are kind of going to be like our recurring topics.
And we'll probably, I don't know if we'll rein them in or not, but
yeah,
we may have some.
Because we definitely chatted about that for a while.
We did chat for a while.
Like that could be its own episode. But
it definitely could.
We also thought it would be fun to like do those and then have like a topic.
Yeah, because there may be some weeks where we're like, oh, I'm reading the same books as I was last week, and so I don't have any updates or.
Yeah, I think this one for sure.
Not last week, but
the last podcast. But this one for sure being the first one.
Right.
is gonna take us a
Definitely.
little bit longer to talk about stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so for our topic today, we were just thinking about doing kind of a get to know us as readers.
Yeah.
Kind of. So talking about kind of like what genres and formats we typically read and kind of like the vibes of when we're reading.
Yeah.
Where we like to read, what we like to do while we're reading, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I guess formats that I mostly use are just, I mostly do like mostly physical books. Some audiobooks occasionally, but like I said, I haven't really been in the mood for those lately. And then I do have a Kindle, so I do ebook.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I do ebook sometimes, but it's not super frequent. I'm still like trying to get used to with Kindle because it's new to me.
It's different. Yeah.
So those are my main like reading formats that I use.
Yeah, so for formats, I guess I read all of them. I love a physical book. Like I love owning books and I love the feel of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have a Kindle. Yeah, I got a Kindle last year. I've had it for a little over a year. And so I do like to read ebooks a lot too. I usually will go back and forth.
Right.
And then a lot of times I'll have an audiobook that I'm listening to at the same time. And before I got the Kindle, I was reading in the Kindle app on my phone, like sometimes, but that's like kind of bright to read at night. And then I also like once in a while, like if I'm reading a digital graphic novel from the library, I'll do that on my iPad.
Okay.
Just because it's bigger and like if it's in color, it looks nicer on the iPad.
Right.
And like I don't have, it's just easier to do graphic novels on the iPad. But yeah, those usually only take me a couple of days to read anyways, so.
The next thing that we were going to talk about was kind of like what genres we like, and then I guess we can kind of tie in like themes and moods to that as well. So like
things we like to see in books.
Things we like to see in books, and then also just like what our vibe is for when we're reading, what kind of mood we're in, that kind of stuff. So for me, I mean, genres, I feel like I could really read anything.
Yeah.
My like go-tos, I guess, are mostly like fiction novels. I enjoy a good fantasy adventure type novel. I've gotten into some romance and like rom-coms. Those are always super fun, and they're usually not too heavy. Depends on the book, obviously. But those are like my main go-tos. And then I've actually really been enjoying memoirs recently. I've found them really interesting. They're fun to read. Sometimes they're a bit heavy, but like I read Jennette McCurdy's memoir. And
I'm glad my mom died.
Yeah.
I listened to that one and it was really good.
Yeah, I listened to it as well, and it was really good.
There's some heavy topics in there for sure.
Very heavy, but it was so interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And like I always loved her.
Yes.
In like Harley when I was younger, and so like it makes me sad to learn about everything that's been going on with that. But explicable all of the Nickelodeon shows right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out about it.
Really, which is
like now
super disheartening.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed getting her perspective and learning about her life. And I also didn't know that she was LDS. That really surprised me.
And it was really well written, too.
Yeah, oh my gosh, so well written.
And I heard that she got, like, a fiction book contract after that.
Interesting.
So maybe in the future we'll get
books from her. Oh, I would love that, honestly. I would read it immediately.
Which is interesting because a lot of celebrities don't write their own books.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Like their own memoirs.
But yeah, those are my main genres, sorry. I guess I've read some, like, Japanese literature as well.
Yeah.
I guess listening to. I listened to the first 3 books in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. I enjoyed them a lot. Those, I guess, are technically also short stories.
Yeah.
But they all
somewhat
connect.
Connected. Yeah.
They all connect, and they're all woven together, and they're even woven together throughout the books.
Oh, okay. I've only read the first one.
I wasn't expecting.
Okay.
But it's really well done, and the characters are just so lovable, and it's made me want to read more Japanese literature, honestly. Yeah. I have one book that's been sitting on my TBR. It's called Kafka on the Shores.
Oh, okay.
Which I can't remember the name of the author right now, but that one I think I'll pick up in the summer.
Nice.
We'll see. And then I'm gonna probably listen to the last book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. I took a break from it because the third book was a little sad.
Yeah.
The
first one was a little sad. Yeah.
So I'm taking a break from it because I feel like the last one might be kind of a heavy hitter. Just based on the title.
I've got the second one.
Yeah, the thing is, I also want to get the physical copies of them.
They're really
I've only
cute.
listened to them, but I love their their covers and
they're like little
the way they look.
hardbacks.
Yeah,
they're very cute. I only have the second one.
So I think
I think I read the first one on Kindle.
Yeah, so I think I might order them just so I have them physically because
they're very cute.
I love them, and I think they're stories that I would revisit in the future. So that's one of the genres I've been doing. And then as far as like themes or things that I like to see in novels, I don't know that I really have a specific answer for that yet. I feel like it much more matters to me like that the story is interesting to me, and I'm such a mood reader that it's like it could have my favorite I mean I love a good things. Enemies to lovers type of vibe, but if it's not a good story, if it's not an entertaining story for me, I'm not really gonna be loving it. So that one's kind of hard for me to answer.
Fair enough.
But that's kind of what I like.
Yeah, for genres, I feel like last year was a year that I experimented a lot with reading different genres. Like my story graph, like the pie charts. Yeah, they were that list was crazy.
Oh goodness.
But I think I've figured out that obviously I've always really liked fantasy and sci-fi. Those have been my main reads before I got back into reading. But since I've gotten back into reading, I've learned that I really like romance, which was not something I thought I would like.
Yeah.
And I really like mysteries.
Mysteries are
too.
Fun.
Yeah, I read a few Agatha Christie novels.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, and I just fell in love with it. I'd really like to read her whole Hercule Poirot series. There's an absolute ton of books. I bet. But I've read the first 3, I think, and I really like them. And then graphic novels. I really like graphic novels. I think it kind of started with Heartstopper. Okay. And oh man, those graphic novels are so cute. But yeah, I do really like some graphic novels. And then as far as themes, I really like cozy stuff. Yeah. But also cozy fantasy, cozy sci-fi. Loved Legends and Lattes.
I still need to read that.
Oh, I loved it.
It's sitting on my shelf. It's actually it's funny because Iro likes to pull the books. Oh. Because they're close to the ground, right? And so when he wants attention, he'll go over there and start touching the books, and he'll pull some of them off. And that is one that he pulls off the most often.
He's telling you to read it.
He must be.
I think did I get that for you?
No, I actually got it in it was one of those blind date with a book things from Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
So I didn't know that I was getting it. It just was in one of those, and it sounded good from the outside. I think the person wrote if you love Studio Ghibli, you'll love this. Okay. The vibes of this book.
Definitely. That makes sense.
And I was like, oh, well, I love Studio Ghibli. I have a Totoro sitting in front of my desk. On my desk, it's one of the little sun ones that rocks back and forth.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm I would, and I have a little paper art thing that I made of Totoro as well. So
cute.
I'm I love that. So I'm I would totally vibe.
You should read it.
So I have to read it.
I have the second one. I guess it's technically a prequel. Bookshops and Bone Dust. I'd really like to read that one this year. But yeah, I really like cozy stuff. I really love found family in books. Yeah. Where you get groups of people that are all different, and then they somehow mesh together.
Yeah, no, those are nice for sure.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
And then I always just love some gay stuff in there.
No, I get that. Some nice LGBTQ themes.
Yeah, I get a lot of that on Storygraph, the LGBTQIA plus. Yeah.
No, I love that.
It's some fun times. And then
well, it's such an important group to have included and represented in literature as well.
Yeah, as far as moods go, I was thinking about Storygraph. It tells you what you read a lot.
Oh yeah.
I get a lot of funny, lighthearted, adventurous, and emotional stuff, which I think encapsulates me pretty well.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I love some funniness in books.
Yeah, I was just looking at my story graph, and my top 3 emotions on there or moods, I guess, are emotional, tense, and hopeful.
Oh, jeez. Tense is in your top?
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's because it says 3 of my books I read this year. Oh, because it's putting the Divine Rivals.
Oh.
The Letters of Enchantment series in there. Which that makes sense. There's some high stakes stuff. And then it put the murder mystery that I read in that category.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
I guess tense is on there for me too.
But my biggest one is emotional, and it's probably because I've read so many memoirs as well as like all of those like before the coffee get cold series. Those are emotional.
Yes.
And like it's putting rom-coms in those category, which fair. So it makes sense for me. My funny is actually my smallest category, but
that's my biggest.
That's
is
so
funny.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Funny, lighthearted, adventurous, and then emotional is a little bit smaller.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of...
I wonder if that's because you read, like you have some graphic novels and stuff. Like, maybe those are...
Yeah, I wonder what ends up in here.
You know
I'm kind of curious now. It's kind of a mix. There's actually, like, a good bit of sci-fi. Like, the Murderbot series is in here, which makes a lot of sense. That series is really funny.
Okay.
Like, it's very sarcastic. Yes, there's actually a couple of, like, romance books in here, too.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was also looking at... Not that it really matters, but, like, do you mostly get medium-paced books on here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I do, too. Because it's funny, because whenever it asks for me to review that part of a book, I never know how to...
Fast is my biggest one in medium.
I never know how to pace it, because I feel like, is it how fast that I'm reading the book, or is it how fast the story moves?
I feel like those kind of, like, both? Can kind of go together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell. I'm like, I feel like I never answer that question correctly. When I'm reviewing a book.
I'll find myself looking at what other people have put.
Same.
If I'm not sure. Yeah, but I feel like most things just tend to fall into the medium category in general. The last section we were kind of wanting to talk about is like where/when we read and kind of what we like to accompany us when we read. For me, it's a little bit boring because I pretty much only read at night before bed. Like almost exclusively.
Such a classic experience.
Yeah. It's how I, like, got myself back into reading.
Okay.
Was like, okay, I'm going to read one chapter.
Right.
Or I'm going to read for 5 minutes. And slowly over time, it's turned into several chapters or 30 minutes.
Right.
If I get, I can get pulled in. I'm honestly, like, pretty surprised by how much I read with only reading before bed.
Right.
Like, I read 70-something books last year, and there were graphic novels in there and shorter books in there, but there's also longer books.
Yeah.
And audiobooks definitely help with that, too. And I do like to read audiobooks while I'm just doing, like, chores. I like to read them or listen to them, like, when I shower.
Yeah.
And, like, when I'm getting ready, stuff like that. But or, like, when I go on walks.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mostly just read in bed. Like, I get ready for bed, and then I get in bed. I, like, will braid my hair and, like, put my lotion on and stuff.
And then get all cozy.
As I'm reading, and I'm getting cozy.
Yeah.
I don't typically, like, snack.
Sure.
Or anything while I'm reading. If I'm reading outside of that time, I do really like to have, like, a beverage or a snack.
Right.
Like tea or coffee or, like, candy. I love candy. But most of the time, yeah, I'm just reading before bed. Sometimes if I get really sucked into a book, which honestly hasn't happened in a long time, I will carry it around with me and I'll read it like every free moment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much it for me.
I definitely feel like my like vibe or like where I like to read, like I'm not a before bed reader because I feel like that just keeps me awake.
That's fair. Some books are too stimulating.
And also, like, a lot of times with my schedule being so weird, being a
you just
night shift person, it's like I just want to go to bed. Because if I stay awake this is going to sound so backwards to everyone, if I stay awake too late into the morning, then it gets light outside, and then my brain goes, oh, it's awake time, and then I can't sleep. And so I have to go to bed kind of like before it gets dark.
You have to take advantage of
unless
pre-sunset.
Yeah,
or sunrise.
Or sunrise for me.
Yeah.
But typically I'll, like, read, like, especially if I'm, like, awake on a night off and there's not really much else to do, I'll read while my fiance's playing, like, games or whatever. And then I don't snack while I read because, like, I don't feel like I don't have the hand-eye coordination for that, for the main reason, but also I don't want to touch my book after I've eaten something.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
have to designate a separate hand.
Yeah.
For eating a snack.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I just feel like it makes it hard, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I like to have a drink. I'll usually have, like, a coffee, or if it's, like, not the time of day where I would normally drink coffee, then I have for sure my water, but then, like, something else, like a juice or tea sometimes. I definitely like to be all cuddled up, like, snugly, like, in a blanket.
Yep.
Have a good pillow. I, like, change the position I'm sitting in kind of often when I'm reading, too, because I feel like my hands get tired or, like, my joints get sore sitting a certain way for a while.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times when I'm reading, my cat, Iroh, usually ends up coming and laying on top of me. He likes to sit, or he'll sit right in front of the book sometimes, and I'm like, well, that doesn't work, and so I have to adjust and move around him. But he, like, loves it when I'm reading, because he likes to, I swear he likes to look at the pages, and sometimes he'll try to bite them, which I don't love, but, like, also, whatever. When he was a kid, and he used to chew on my books a lot more. Now he's not as bad about it. He'll just kind of fall asleep. But when he was little, I have a book that's, like, literally teeth hole punches in, like, every single page. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's Iroh.
Oh my goodness. It's memories.
Yeah, it's real cute. Of bites. But that's my general vibe. Mm-hmm. And then when it's warm outside, which we're, like, heading into warmer weather, I love sitting outside and reading.
I know, I was just thinking about
going to a park and, like, setting up a hammock.
Because I haven't done any reading like that in a while.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice.
But, like, I do also love, last summer, we were going to the pool, because we have a pool right here, and we would just take our Kindles with us and lay out there and read, and that's really, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's nice. Or, like, when you go camping and you bring a book with you that you've been working on, or maybe a new one, and you sit at the camp in the evening before you're making dinner and read for a little bit. It's so nice. So, I also really love that during the summer. Oh. So, makes me, like, so excited for the warm weather.
I know.
I can't wait for it to be warmer, finally.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, reading outside is very special. It, like, hits different.
Oh, it totally does. But yeah, those are my vibes. We had mentioned we're gonna start maybe a new buddy read. Since we didn't really love the buddy read that we were doing last time. Yeah. So we were gonna try. We both got a copy of Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez.
Yeah.
Jimenez. So I don't know when we're gonna start that.
Yeah. Now that you have your book, we can start it whenever.
Yeah. So that might be our next buddy read. So you'll probably hear us talking about that.
Yeah. That was kind of funny because I was planning to get that book from Book of the Month, and then I was asking Lindsay what she was going to pick, and like as I was texting you, I got an email that I got the arc.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's the one I chose. I love her. Her writing is so good.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I don't have to order it from Book of the Month. I just have the ebook now.
But that worked out well for you because you were able to get the copy of Shark Heart that you wanted.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
That worked out nicely.
Yeah, and I haven't read anything by her yet. And I know you really liked Yours Truly.
Yeah, Yours Truly was adorable. Would highly recommend.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of that one?
I don't.
Too? Oh.
Yeah. I was debating on my book of the year between Shark Heart and that one.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's really good. I mean, I think she has several other novels. I've only read Yours Truly, but after reading that one, like, it was so well written, and the story was pretty realistic for it being, like, a rom-com, which I appreciated.
Yeah, and you're in the medical field, too.
Yeah, she described what it's like working in an ER, like, really, really well. And, like, not in a overdramatic, like, Grey's Anatomy type of way, but in a very much realistic, like, sometimes you just have a patient who has an abdominal problem or, like, just very, like, realistic issues that people come into the ER for. And she captured, like, the mindset of the doctors and nurses pretty well, too, which I actually had read that she, like, interviewed doctors and nurses, like, while she was writing the book to, like, try and capture their insights about, like, the medical field and working in the ER and stuff. So she definitely does her research. And I think this book, Just for the Summer, also features a nurse in it. So we'll see how that is. The premise of the story sounds really interesting. But
it does.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the tea. I'm excited to be like, oh my gosh, did you read that?
Because it's like the next person that they date, after they date this person, is like their soulmate.
Their soulmate, yeah.
They both have the same curse. And so they're like, what if we date each other?
Yeah. It sounds like a really interesting premise.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It sounds fun. But I think that'll be a more fun one for us to buddy read.
Yeah, for sure. And we could honestly start that whenever.
Yeah, we could start it right now.
Right now.
And I've heard good things about it, too.
Yeah. I think that is all of our topics for this time. That would be, like, kind of our general flow. Yeah,
we don't have, like, a bunch of socials set up yet.
No, not yet.
But wherever you're listening to this, I will try and put... You know, hopefully we'll have an Instagram and things like that by the time that I put this up.
Yeah.
So you could follow us there. You can leave us a thumbs up or a like or something.
Yeah.
A review.
Definitely.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can comment.
Comments. If this is on YouTube.
Yeah, if it's on YouTube, that could be
give us a comment.
Wherever this ends up being. Like if you liked it. If you didn't, then...
That's fine.
That's okay.
You can just leave.
You can just leave. It's
quietly.
Okay.
It's fine.
We won't be offended. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we will see you in the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.